yet. I actually just added the very first package today. From my point of view, the big potential in CKAN is that while using a decentralized system, you can find, it actually works as a register where you can find open data. And that can include open data from science, and it can include open data from public service and politics. So the idea of launching a German version of CKAN is to get one register where people can find, search and hopefully find data from these different areas, which is open. We will have actually a small symposium on the Semantic Web Day in Leipzig, which will take place in May 2010. And on this event, we will actually invite lots of people from science community to join, helping this become a real valuable registry where you can find these data. Also, something that you didn't mention is that CKAN is used for managing the metadata from the data.gov.uk website, which will be the open government data website for the UK. And this is also some aspect that I particularly find very interesting, because at the same time I'm the chairman of the German NGO Open Data Network. So we're trying to promote open government and open data and transparency here in Germany. And I think while starting this registry for open data, which includes science and public sector and politic data, it gives us a strong argument to say, like, hey, wow, this is already used by UK government to manage their data, so hopefully we can convince German politics to also open up their data and link it to this kind of register where it can be searched and found on one side. I'm not going to talk technically about any of this, but one thing that appeals to me very interesting is, if you think about science, there is a lot of scientific data published in Germany under public domain, but how to find it? Like, if you're a student or a researcher, you would have to go to Google and try to search open data, or you would have to go to all the different universities to try to find their data that is published openly under public domain. But that's quite a hard thing to do. And I think specifically for this register can help boost not only the publishing of open data, but also the use, the reuse, the redistribution, and finally the overall the value that our society can use it. And well, that's basically from my side. I would like to encourage all of you guys that if you want to participate and help this register to grow, we have a wiki that can be found right there. So it's wiki.okfn.org.de, which is trying to set up a community to help support this project. And there you will find a link to a mailing list. And this is, as I said, just starting, and hopefully by the end of the year we will have a big success already on this.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, sorry, Dan. Yeah, as Daniel said, in fact, CKAN.net in the UK and the system is being used as part of the UK's data.gov.uk effort, which is this effort to start registering UK government data sets and making them open, getting them out there into the public. And I think one thing I want to mention here is, if we think code is big, right? I mean, the role that code plays in society has got larger and larger. the number of people it employs, its significance, everything from our tax submission system to our computers are now run on it. Data, I think, is going to be even bigger. Data is going to be even bigger than code. I mean that both commercially. I mean, I come from the UK, so financial services are both loved and hated, right? But what are bankers essentially doing, particularly investment bankers? They're essentially simply transmitting information. They are taking money in, and they're trying to reallocate it, in theory, to good investments on the other side. They are simply trading data or information. What is insurance doing? I mean, it's transferring risk, but it's also deciding about what risk is. Data is everywhere, and data will be big business. It will be big for society. It will be big for democracy. And it is the next big frontier. Right now, governments are thinking about this. And also big corporations thinking about it, and also we should be thinking about it. And I don't, by the way, I should be very emphasized, we're big. I like big corporations, I like small corporations. But at the same time, we certainly cannot trust monopolists to always proceed in our best interest. Right now, most of the information infrastructure of our world, from social networks to search engines, are run by companies which are close to being monopolies, and from whom we have no guarantee that they will act in our best interest. It is essential, I think, to us as citizens, that we ensure that the basic infrastructure, just like the basic infrastructure of the net is open, the basic information infrastructure, the basic data infrastructure of our society is open. So I'm going to conclude by saying, I think this is the start of the Debian of Data. We're way behind code, but we can learn from a lot of what code has done. And we can also face really interesting new problems about how we deal with large-scale stuff. How is data different from code? How is it the same? How do you do, everyone here, who's used a version control system? Right? Has anyone ever tried coding when they first started out without a version control system? It was painful, right? Not that painful. But is there a version control system for data? How do we do data diffing? In the moment, data diffing amounts to dumping your SQL, your CSV, your Turtle, your N3, and running text diff on it. There are seriously interesting problems here that need to be solved. So this is the start, and we need data package managers are wanted right now. And the thing I would emphasize here, particularly at a congress such as this, is that data and code are becoming one. What is the difference ultimately between your data file and your list? Between the code that parses the data and the data itself? Much of the difference is disappearing. If you hack code, you are hacking data, and at some point, if you hack data, you'll hack code. If you remember, and I'm sure many people here have read Gibson, his vision of cyberspace was not about code. It was always about these great mountains of data, not mountains of code. Thank you very much.
So, you know the drill about queuing up at the microphones for questions.
So you mentioned semantic web and RDF a little bit in the passing, and it sounds like your model is more a data by value, whereas my impression of linked open data is a pass by reference. Could you enlighten me on why your approach is it actually different? I mean, enlighten me why you feel it's more important or better?
Okay, a really great question. So, I mean, just one question. Who here knows what RDF is? Okay, so about 50%. So just, so in answer to you, to first explain maybe to the audience that doesn't know, RDF is a format. So who here has used an Excel file? Everyone has used an Excel or a CSV file?
No.
Right? But it's